Alright, so this video is for all the young guys that want to start working out. One of the very important things which you will not hear about from other people that do fitness is when you start fitness, when you start bodybuilding as a young dude, your main priority is probably most likely going to be trying to get your chest and your arms as big as possible. But that's because you are unfamiliar with physique aesthetics. You know, when I was a beginner, I wanted to get big arms and I wanted to get big chest, a nice full chest and nice thick arms to fill out my sleeves. But if I could start fitness again, I'd do things totally differently. The first thing I would do is I would not prioritize my chest and my biceps as much, and the muscles I would prioritize are my shoulders and my lats and my triceps. Now, the shoulders are the most important muscle to looking jacked. This is why when you start off as a beginner and you train your arms and chest, you'll get through a couple of months of training. You'll notice a difference in your physique, but you'll just see something's missing about your physique. And so you might look at your athletic friend, he's naturally athletic, and you'll just feel something's missing. He just looks better than you, and you can't really pinpoint what it is. And so you're not really happy with your body, you're not really happy with the shape. And you think you'll need bigger arms, or your arms aren't big enough, or you haven't done enough training, etc. But actually, you just haven't prioritized the right muscle for your aesthetics, which are your shoulders to give you that wide frame, and your lats to push your arms out and to expand your frame. And that's the reason why you might see your friend's physique, and he might not actually be bigger than you. He might in fact be smaller than you. But the fact that he's got a small waist and he's got nice wide wings and he's got some shoulder definition, some shoulder size, that's the reason why you might look at your physique and think something's missing. And this is especially true when you have big traps, but you do not have big shoulders. It looks very sloppy, and you can actually feel like something's missing pretty quickly. You will not like your physique. I used to have big traps and small shoulders, and I hated my physique. I thought I'd look like shit. But sometimes you don't have the best genetics, and there's nothing you can do about it except train properly. When you have big traps, you really need to start training your shoulders and your lats, because when you have big traps and you have small shoulders, you look slanted. It does not look good, and you look narrower. And so your shoulders are super important for building that aesthetic physique. Once you have the shoulders and traps, then you'll be happier than if you just had the shoulders, because now what you thought was a genetic curse in the past all of a sudden adds something different to your physique, which you did not see back then because you hated your physique, because you had small shoulders and your slanted traps. You know, because when you train your arms and you're a beginner, you're not going to get those huge arms right away. You'll get progress in your physique, but you won't be happy because your arms aren't the size that you would have wanted them to be, and there's something missing from your physique, which is your V-taper. And so you should still train your arms, obviously. Your triceps should obviously have more priority than your biceps because they are the larger muscle overall, and you are more likely to fill out your t-shirts than if you were to train your biceps. But really prioritize shoulders over your arms and your chest. The most important are the shoulders and the back because they really fill out the frame. They widen your overall appearance. You know, when you're a beginner and you hit your arms and your chest a lot, you're not going to get those results right away. You're not going to get your massive arms right away. And so you'll see that you have made progress, but you don't look as good as your athletic friend. That's because you didn't prioritize your shoulders. You didn't prioritize your lats enough. You've got good progress for the muscles that you've trained, but something's missing in your physique. And so if you really want to look at your best, if you really want to look your most aesthetic, the best thing you could do is try and get the best V-taper you can, get the biggest shoulders you can, spam your lateral raises. Lateral raises are probably the best exercise to really make your shoulders wide. If we're talking about sheer mass of your shoulders, then do your shoulder press or like pressing movements with your shoulders. But if we're talking about width, which is the most important thing here, do a fuck ton of lateral raises and spam that shit. I do like lateral raises. I spam them like minimum 4 times a week. And so you'll look a lot better when you have wide shoulders. And also make your waist as slim as possible. And that does not come by bulking. That comes by eating a little bit more than you would, but not going full with the bulk. A slight calorie surplus so that you can build your muscle and so that you've got enough energy to continue your workout. But having a small waist will always come from being lean. Doing ab exercises will not make your waist blocky. It will just make the abs pop out even more so that when you do get lean, they will look even more defined because the ab muscles are poking through the fat. So do your sit-ups as well. And if you want to enhance your look even more, do stomach vacuums. I did stomach vacuums when I was 16, 17, and I did them every day for 2 weeks, and I shrunk my waist by 2 inches in those 2 weeks. Stomach vacuums can do a fuck ton for your physique if you do them consistently. And all I did back then when I shrunk my waist by 2 inches was I'd do my stomach vacuums throughout the day. You don't have to have like one big ab workout. You can just, while you're sitting at your desk, maybe do 3 sets of however long you can hold them, and you will get results as long as you're consistent. Trust me, guys, when I say this. The best thing you can do for your physique as a man is train those shoulders and train those lats. The V-taper is truly the most important aspect of an aesthetic physique in a man. The arms can come later, but if you've got big arms and you've got small shoulders, it's just not going to look the same. It's going to look a bit shittier. It's going to look a bit stupid. It's going to look a bit sloppy. But if you've got big shoulders and medium arms, you'll be a lot happier with your physique than you think you would. Trust me, you will be a lot happier. And so that's what I wish I did better when I started working out. I wish I hadn't neglected my shoulder workout. When I started off, I did not train shoulders at all. I just did arms and I just did chest. I did do my back. I didn't do any legs at all. Legs aren't as important. I do legs right now, but we're talking about the upper body. And so you really want to train your shoulders, guys. Do not skip that as your most important muscle when you start out. The shoulders can either make or break your physique, so make sure you guys train them. And for fuck's sake, guys, stop bulking. If you're a fat piece of shit, go on a weight cut right now. And if you're starting out skinny, just eat normally. Just make sure your diet is mostly protein and that you've got enough energy throughout your workouts. Then your muscles will also have enough energy to heal themselves and become stronger and bigger. And then you won't have to worry about cutting because you're too fat. You won't have to worry about any of that shit. So stay lean. Being lean will just give you way more confidence as well. You can go onto the beach and you're fully prepared. You didn't even have to cut for the summer. You're lean all year round. And you're just happy that you don't have to eat food all the time. You don't have to eat, I don't know, sandwiches during your lectures. You won't have to eat as much food throughout the day so you can enjoy that time for other aspects of your life. And remember, guys, it takes patience. You're not going to get results right away. When I started when I was 15, I only gave myself 1 month because when I was 15, we had finished year 10 in school. We had basically just only 1 month of summer break. And so I was expecting myself to look like Zac Efron from Baywatch once that summer was done. And I was very disappointed. So you guys, you have to be very patient. It takes years to build a physique like Zac Efron. I didn't know that back at the time. So don't believe the bullshit that you have to bulk hard in order to build muscle. No, you won't. You'll feel like a fat piece of shit at the end of the day. And you don't want to do it. You're going to ruin your aesthetic appeal by eating like a fat sack of shit. So just eat like you normally would. Maybe have a couple bites more than you would. Just make sure you're mostly eating protein. And make sure you're getting enough rest in. And you're drinking enough water. All those other variables dialed in. Then you'll be on the path to getting your dream physique. Another thing I can say, don't worry about whether your exercises are optimal or not. Just do the fucking movement and go on about your workout. It's better to do some sort of movement rather than to spend another 5 minutes overcomplicating which head of your bicep you should target doing specific curls. Just do the curls and don't give a shit about anything else. The guy that actually does gets way more done than the guy that overthinks it all the time. The guy that actually does gets way more done than the guy that overthinks all the time.